Hello. My name on this earth is Krista Elizabeth Hauer. I'm making this video because all of my electronics, which contain video capacity or recording capacity, have been broken by unknown forces. I am a Starseed, an Arcturian Starseed, with Lyran lineage as well. I'm making this video as my first testament to who I am, to what I am, and to show the world that I will survive. On October 20th, I participated in an intercept, a nuclear intercept. On August 21st of 2014, Earth time, many of you might have been aware that there were several agendas in place. One of those involved Ebola, another involved nuclear war, many kinds of threats. On August 20th, myself and several others managed to completely intercept the nuclear arm. At least that was where I participated. After this, I began to receive death threats. Outside, you might have heard that honk. People surveil where I live. I live in a controlled area right next to Chevron United States headquarters. Interesting, huh? I thought perhaps I had no idea how to get my ideas out to the world, no idea how to tell the world who I was, what I was going through, and that if you are going through the same thing, you are not alone, and that I am here. My title is technically Princess Andromeda, or Warrior Princess Andromeda. I believe Andromeda is a translation because Arcturian sounds like Arcturian, things like that, and half the time I really don't know quite what I'm saying, but I have figured out that I believe Arcturian means get behind me, Satan, as I've had to deal with quite a few things of the demonic. I will now commence this test as to this video, and in the future will further create more along the lines of what I know I must put out to the world. I live in San Ramon, California, which is where Chevron United States, almost global headquarters, is located. Not Houston. Nope, right here. And I live at the heart of the beast. Despite my attempts to reach out to those below, the dogs, which is not said in a derogatory fashion, but only as it has been written, they have rejected my help. I've tried to show them what to do, where to go, how they can evolve. I myself had to evolve. If you knew what kind of fit I threw when I realized I had to become vegan, you wouldn't quite be thinking, oh, what this girl is telling me, this, that, and the other, meditate, and I can't do it. Oh, I didn't think I could do it either. I didn't think I could survive. But here I am, still surviving. These earrings are particular seeds. They were sent to me by someone who actually is on YouTube, but the particular person, I will not exactly state their name, is an infiltrator. They are Arcturian, but they do not have your best interests in mind, especially if what they sent me was programmed to cause me harm. How do I know this? I had to reprogram all of the jewelry that I'm wearing. I was imprisoned for 17 days, not long after the August 21st intercept. I was imprisoned willingly because I was tricked into thinking that a hospital wouldn't be a prison. Many of you should be aware that when reptilians and greys attempt to turn you, they subject you to physical duress. That, by default, unless they can do something violent to you, is usually a chemical sort of warfare. And in many places, that is carbon monoxide. Speaking of carbon monoxide, let's monitor it at the moment. I am having to live inside an apartment that is designed to convert me to the dark side or kill me. Without any financial resources, I can't manage to leave, so the downstairs neighbors, who appeared overnight after realizing that I had a hand in the August 21st intercept, and also the people across from me downstairs moved in, and they are, I believe you might call them, human reptilian police of the sorts, human gray reptilian police. They are Rh negative blood types, I can tell you that. Look up Rh negative on YouTube and you'll see what I mean. I am also an Rh negative blood type, AB negative, Rh negative. I was born into a bloodline which desires world domination. This is the Scottish Rite Freemasonry line that I came from a man named Jonathan Jefferson Jones. And being an heir and the firstborn, I was highly coveted, and also being a female, an energetic leader, also highly coveted. The man who appeared as my father, but who I believe was controlled and possessed by something else, attempted to program me when I was a baby and a young child, raped me, forced me to watch porn while he masturbated with me as the masturbation toy, which he rubbed across himself, things of that nature. And this is what satanic ritual programming involves. Now, I had no memory of anything really done to me, except that I knew something horrible had happened. My brother, unfortunately, was controlled, but I was not. I managed to break free. Now, after my activation and knowledge of my star origins and of my mission, I must make the world aware. We must band together. Be aware that the dark has infiltrated the forces of light. Do not trust anyone if they say they're Arcturian. Don't trust anyone if they say they're Pleiadian. Don't trust anyone if they say they're Lyran. By the way, Pleiadians and Lyrans are the more easily turnable of the starseeds that I've noticed. With Arcturians, we would prefer to die rather than turn most of the time, or only end up turning if we feel if there's no other chance and perhaps we might be able to make our way out. So, in light of that, do as Jesus the Christ said, who was, yes, part Pleiadian. He said, test all the spirits. That includes him. Test what he says, and not everything he said is actually in the Bible, and some of the things he said in the Bible are not what he said at all. How do I know this? I'll simply say I know it because I am still alive. I survived some very, very intense chemical warfare over the past month. Reiki, almost any manner of attack except for that of violence, because my frequency closes all vibrational openings for violence. This video is designed for people who already understand these concepts and so would not require explanations of the law of attraction or frequency or openings and things of that nature. But now that I'm beginning my story, I will share it with the world. My name again here on this dimension is Krista Elizabeth Hauer. My name as an Arcturian is Warrior Princess Andromeda, or more modestly, simply Andromeda. or Professor Andromeda because I'm a philosophy professor on Arcturus. My primary job descriptions, however, are on the Ashtar command, and this was how we commenced the intercept on August 20th. We were a day early, and had it finished an entire day early, indeed. For any of you who are attacked by those below, reptilian forces, gray forces, those of you with tags like me, those of you with strange markings on your bodies, know that they can touch your body, they can touch your mind, but they cannot touch your soul. They can make you think you've sold your soul. They can make you think they've taken it from you. They can make you think that your will has been taken. But that's all an illusion. How do I know? Because I fought off at least 5 different possession attempts by reptilians, as well as grays asking me, "What do you want?" Grays will often do this when they realize they're losing. They'll try to pretend bargain with you. I was asked, what do you want? And I said, "What do you want?" I was holding a torch lighter at the time. The torch lighter broke like this, stared forward, and I heard from the presence in the room, "Shoot you." So, as you can see, the Greys ought not really be trusted in their words. The reptilians, while in their hearts they are still good, right now they are not ready. Some may be ready, but right now they must be left behind. If you are part of the reptilian resistance, if you are fighting the Greys' AI system that they are using to try to keep themselves alive, remember that the Greys clone themselves, but as a backup, what they've done is they've set up an artificial intelligence system designed to keep their species alive. So, the artificial intelligence system also works with all of the satanic programming. And why are humans still here? Because we're smarter than them. Why? Well, that's a little bit confusing. Greys are a bit like supercomputers with no emotions. If you, to look at them, you see an intense pulsating at the third eye chakra, an intense pulsating near the crown as well in this area, but very little pulsing in those of the root chakras, sacral chakras, or solar plexus at all, and absolutely no heart. With the reptilians, they're a little bit backwards. With Greys, we've got everything pulsing up here. With reptilians, we've got everything pulsing down with sex, sacral chakra, and the root chakra, or basic survival. So, to think about it, that's a bit of a mismatch. Reptilians mismatched on the bottom, Greys mismatched on the top of the chakras. With humans, we are capable of the greatest balance. That is why it is so coveted to be human. Until you understand this, you might just completely hate your life, but once you understand this, you'll realize why we are of so much interest to all extraterrestrial species. There was another honk again. That's usually to notify whoever is watching me that I'm doing something. I'll make another video shortly describing some things I've learned about reptilian biological triggers, their control systems. What you need to understand is that reptilians are not inherently evil creatures. They were created as a race of demons. We can take this back to ideas of Satan, of the source. So we have source energy. Source energy is light and love, not just love, light and love. Without the light, the love's an illusion. Without the love, the light's an illusion. We need both in a push-pull dynamic, both of polar opposites, creating something of a vortex or a cyclic pulse. Because all these entities had free choice, who as the person who sold me these, which were cursed, which I had to reprogram, said danced away from source, which I do very much agree with, as the angels danced away from source, what we call angels, or angelic beings, there was one who thought, I want to expand in a different way. And that's not necessarily bad. This entity came to be called Satan, which means enemy. Lucifer means light bearer. As far as this angel's real name, there are many different speculations, but reptilians will know that you never tell anyone your real name. So I would not be surprised if none of us know Satan's real name. I can tell you that I was approached by this entity called Satan and offered many things, offered friends, offered anything that I didn't have that I would want. But I said no. And here I am, having survived however many death threats I don't know and assassination attempts I cannot even count. So, getting back to how this system has evolved. After, well, we'll just call him Satan as enemy, who is the antithesis of Archangel Michael. Satan needed ways to trap the light. What he did was he figured out how to trap the source light and bring it elsewhere so that he did not have to depend on the source for light. His lie is that love is the source of the universe. Now that's true, but without true source light, the love is dead. By love, he means basically sex and orgasm. The closest that any reptilian I've ever met comes to love is that of a brotherly camaraderie. It's kind of if, let's say you're betting on a game. They love gambling. So you're betting on a game and you're sitting next to your reptilian friend who, friend not meaning demon, but friend meaning reptilians aren't really actually friends with each other and they fight with each other constantly. You're sitting next to your reptilian friend and you're both betting saying, oh, yeah, okay, so-and-so's going to win. No, so-and-so's going to win. No, so-and-so's going to win. There's a brotherly love in a way there, but that's as close as they really get to any kind of love, and unconditional love seems to be something they have not breached yet. So this idea of Satan and his love idea, it is dead because it has no true light source. The only way that they obtain light source is to sap it out of something like me, something like a human. Now, another thing that is taught to the reptilians that is a downright lie is that they are born in sin. This is the other thing that humans are taught. We are taught that we are born in sin. This could not be farther from the truth. We are brainwashed into believing that we are lowly, inferior, in order to keep us under control. With the reptilians, they hatch out of eggs most of the time, at least as far as I understand. If anyone would like to correct me, please do. As soon as they are hatched, they are put into torture. They are born into pain, and this was actually told to me while I was imprisoned in their own hospital concentration camp. It was called a behavioral re-education center. And you might be wondering, how did you get out of it? I got out of it because they simply couldn't kill me and it cost them too much money. That was how. The money trail. That was how I got out. So, with this race that we demonize, let us not demonize them, but let us know that right now most of them are simply not ready. They are taught that they have no soul, that it's been taken from them. It's done at a very young age. And so they believe that they have no way out, no way out, no way out. And that the only way to satisfy that urged longing and the fire that burns within a person when they are possessed, I know this because it almost happened to me multiple times, and I fought it off, that this produces a hunger of wanting the light back, of wanting to seek the light. But they're taught that the only way that they can get to the light is to sap it out of a human or sap it out of anything with light. So let it be known that this is the lie. This is what has been taught down below. And when I say down below, I do mean in the center of the earth. Or not the center, but down below the earth. On YouTube, you will find Interview with a Reptilian, I believe, Lacerta? Yeah, Lacerta. Interview with the Reptilian. Now, in that interview with Lacerta, I challenge you, watch for what she is saying that is true and what is false. She says, this planet was never yours. That's a lie. The planet is ours by proxy because of the Pleiadian seeding of the planet. Notice how she also calls the planet their zoo. Well, do you think you are a zoo animal? Human watching this? Starseed watching this? Do you think you're a zoo animal? Nah. So, with all of these concepts, we must understand that we must band together. After Lucifer or Satan brought the light, he found a way to trap it using reflective surfaces, mirrors, water, originally water, and then later mirrors, any reflective surfaces, bronze, metal, anything that you can see your reflection in, even this. And in order to do that, to trap the light, that is where mirror magic comes from. Anyone who's seen strings tied up looking like voodoo dolls, poppets as they call them, these things were all tactics created by this Satan, Lucifer, whether or not it is an angel fallen or running as a program, I have not quite ascertained, but I can say that Michael the Archangel has a personal vendetta with Satan the fallen angel. And this might come as a shock, but what Michael has had to protect me multiple times in the last month, and he finally began to express to me that he wished he didn't have to bind Satan for 1,000 years, as it's written in Revelation. Now remember, Revelation is not all accurate, but if you use your discernment, you'll see which passages to read and which passages to ignore. He expressed to me that he wished he didn't have to bind Satan for 1,000 years, almost as if they'd been friends before Satan fell from the source, or danced very angrily away from the source. He didn't quite dance away from source. He angrily danced away from the source, or angrily stomped his way away from the source, and fell like some sort of asteroid pummeling through space with his rage. And so now we have our planet as it is now. This is simply a practice run for me, recording my thoughts. If necessary, I'll have to post it raw as is. Know that I had no preparation before doing this, wondering how am I going to post anything that I've said, how are people going to know about me, how am I going to survive, and I realized, wait a minute, the answer is the phone in my hand. Remember, when all the doors are closed, it means you just might open one that, as Katy Perry said, as Teal Swan noted, has a North Star, will lead you to the perfect road. Maybe all the doors are closed, so you can open one that will lead you to that perfect road. Never give up hope. Always have hope. Always call upon the light 3 times over, if you must. call upon light, love. Not light, not love, but light, love. And I will be explaining the physics of this later, as Professor Andromeda would prefer to do. That's being a little bit of my Arcturian arrogant side, but I must say I do love remembering how I used to teach on Arcturus and remembering my Starseed past. May peace and light love be with you all. Namaste. Blessings to you all.